Epictetus taught students to catch themselves in temporal displacement. You're suffering about something? When is it happening? If the answer is yesterday or tomorrow, you're suffering voluntarily. The event isn't here. You're holding it here through attention. And holding it here prevents you from addressing what's actually present, which is the only place where action is possible. Here's the practice he'd use. Something disturbs you. Handle it now or set it aside entirely. Don't carry it with you into the next moment, the next hour, the next day. Each moment is fresh, containing only what's actually in it. Your mind adds the rest. This takes real discipline because the mind's default is temporal sprawl. Something happens and immediately you're connecting it to everything that happened before and might happen after. You're building narratives, making patterns, drawing implications. Within seconds, the present event has become wrapped in layers of interpretation that pull in past and future. The antidote is ruthless simplicity. When something difficult happens, describe only what's occurring right now using purely physical terms. My heart is beating faster. My breathing is shallow. My muscles are tense. No story, no meaning, no temporal extension, just what is physically present. Notice how much smaller it becomes. The physical reality of any moment is usually manageable. What makes it unmanageable is the story about what it means. Whereas Seneca asked, what robs us of life? Not death, which we know is coming. What robs us is spending our life elsewhere, in past and future, never arriving in the present where life is actually happening. We miss our lives while suffering about them. Every time you notice suffering, locate it in time. Is this happening now? If not, you've chosen to leave the only moment where you actually exist and taken up residence in a moment that is either complete or hasn't arrived. You're free to stay there. But understand, that's where you're spending your life. Not in imagination as metaphor, but in reality. The hours you spend suffering about what isn't happening are hours you'll never get back. Hours of your actual finite existence consumed by relationship with time that isn't present. The past is complete. Nothing you do now changes it. The future hasn't arrived. Nothing you suffer now prepares you for it. The present is the only place where your life is actually occurring, where problems can actually be addressed, where action is actually possible. Most people die having spent the majority of their conscious life suffering about time that wasn't present. They worried through decades about things that never happened. They ruminated through years about events that were already over. They arrived at the end, having barely inhabited the time they were actually given, because they were always somewhere else, suffering about what was or might be instead of living what is. You don't have to do this. Temporal suffering is a choice made moment by moment through where you direct attention. The present moment is always available. It's always bearable. And it's the only place where you actually exist.